This is a story of how I personally made my first 100K. I'm going to give you guys a step by step of what I did and what you can potentially do. So let's get straight into it. Tip number one, stop being a consumer. So when I was really young, I would buy Jordans and Yeezys at the time were really big. And then, you had those really cool lifestyle brands like Supreme and Bape. And it was like the hypebeast era. And at the start, I was buying a lot of these things, and then I had them. And I kind of realized, oh, this is a really expensive hobby or habit or whatever you want to call it. And I kind of realized, I kind of retweaked my brain that this really doesn't mean anything to me, and it really does nothing for you. I personally think that lifestyle of buying hype stuff and buying designer stuff is for rich people, and you should do once you're rich. So I retweaked my brain and I was like, dude, I'm never going to be doing this again unless I'm like super rich. And I stopped buying all that stuff, and it's a good way to keep you broke. Like in Australia, one pair of Jordans was like $300, same as Yeezys. So I stopped being a consumer. I stopped buying all those high-end and hyped clothing. I'm lucky I worked it out young, because I remember people were using their paychecks just to buy like a designer belt or a designer t-shirt. Not worth it, guys. Don't be a consumer. The second tip is I stopped eating out and buying takeaway. When you first start your first full-time job, you get like all this money, like, oh my god, I'm making so much money now, I can do something different. And for me, I was like, every lunch break, I'm gonna go out and eat. I'll leave my office and go out and get takeaway or go to a nice Chinese restaurant. And I did it every day. Would cost anywhere between $20 to $40 5 days a week. I mean, you do the math, it could be $100+ a week, and over 56 weeks, you work out the math. It's a lot of money. I swapped that for bringing in grilled sandwiches and making them in like the work office like break room. And for the last 3 years, I've pretty much just had the same grilled cheese salami sandwiches. It's pretty boring, but you gotta grind it out. And over the last 3 years, that saved me almost 10K. And 10K is a lot of money, guys, just for eating sandwiches. That was a game changer for me, and I saved so much money, and you'll notice it in your bank account if you do this right now. Tip 3, okay, this kind of goes back to tip 1, but tip 3, you're thinking after tip 1, oh, what am I going to buy? Basic essentials will save your money. So what I mean by that, instead of buying like the Jordans and the Gucci and whatever you name it, you go to a store like Uniqlo and you buy like five $20 white t-shirts, five $20 black t-shirts, pants, different tone of pants. And then for shoes, just buy like a nice pair of New Balances. This is what I've done, and it's super easy to dress. It's timeless. It'll never go out of fashion, and I'm not using all my money to buy this high-end stupid stuff that I believe is for rich people. And when you have a lot of money, you just buy that stuff. Buying just basic essentials and just keeping that for as long as possible. They're pretty durable as well. So if you guys have like a local store, sort of like Uniqlo, buy that stuff instead of buying the high-end stuff, and avoid that lifestyle. Tip 4, the minimal lifestyle. When I mean minimal lifestyle, you're not spending too much money on a lot of unnecessary things. So what I mean by that is, like, you could have a Netflix subscription, but don't buy like Hulu, and I don't know what you guys have in America. I know most of my audience is American, but Disney Plus and all them. So just have like that Netflix, and then maybe have like your Xbox subscription, and like that's it. If you keep it super minimal and you're not paying for 6 to 8 monthly things, because that stuff adds up and you don't even realize it because it takes money out of your account on different days. Have it super minimal. Have it so your lifestyle, you're not spending too much money, because as I said, it adds up, and you want to be saving as much money as possible to put that into other things. Which leads on to my next tip. 5, make small investments. When I made my first 100K, it was in 2020, and a lot of things were happening in 2020, which was COVID. Crypto was booming, sort of like it is now. And I made like a few small investments in Ethereum and Bitcoin. That thing skyrocketed. I remember I made like 7.7K in like 2 months or something. I can't really remember. It's been like 5 years ago now. And it was just small investments. I'm not saying risk all your money, just some money you can afford to do. And yeah, those small investments made me a lot of money for what I risked. Which leads on to my next tip is reselling and buying collectibles. So this is another thing I did during COVID, and I still do till this day. COVID, everyone wanted Pokemon cards, NFL cards, NBA cards, you name it. I remember when my local store go online, I'll max out the amount I could buy. I'll make my brother an account. He would help me max out, and then my sister and my dad, and I'd buy all this bulk stuff. And I was selling these Pokemon cards, and they sold themselves. Like, I'd list them on like Facebook Marketplace, and I was making a lot of money. Everyone was DMing me. I did the same thing with the PS5 consoles, collectibles like rare like cause dolls and all those things. And then I also did it with, like, instead of me buying the Jordans and wearing them and Yeezys, I would get them. I'd make multiple family accounts so I could get multiple pairs of them and just resell them. And those things were reselling themselves because there's a lot of hype around them, a lot of talk around them. I would literally just post them on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, and Facebook Marketplace, you get like 100 messages. It was crazy, especially during the PS5 era when everyone wanted a PS5 for some reason. I would literally get 50 messages per 12 hours. It was nuts, and I was making all this money. I'm like, oh my god, I'm making my money make more money for me. It was insane. Number 7, going back to what I just said, making your money to make you more money. Number 7, I bought a PC during COVID. This was another thing that was really hyped. Streaming was just booming during COVID because everyone is inside. I was really scared to take that risk and buy a really good PC. I remember I spent like $4,000 at the time on my PC, and I was like, geez, this is like a lot. I was living a very frugal lifestyle and, making all these investments and reselling to spend so much on a PC. But then I did it, and I started streaming, and streaming made me 12K in like a year. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I was getting paid to stay home from my remote job, which didn't require me to work. Then I was, on top of that, I was streaming, and then I was reselling and making the small crypto investments. It was all adding up at once. You guys want to make multiple sources of income to get to that 100K mark, and buying that PC really helps. So for you, it might not be a PC. For you, it might be like a really nice camera so you can do like wedding photography, or you buy something for like a TikTok video, or I don't know. Like, think about your passion and your niche, and then do what I did with my PC. How my PC made me more money. Whatever that item may be, it can make you more money, and just think about what it is in your head. Number 8 was not buying a car. Well, when I say not buying a car, I mean you obviously need a car, but I spent $4,000 on my car, and all my friends bought like $120,000 car. And when I first bought my house, they were all just like, dude, how'd you buy this? What the hell? This was just came out of nowhere. Well, I literally said to him, like, I never bought a 100K car like you guys. Sure, you guys look nice and it's super cool and you get your Instagram photos and stuff, but geez, a car is a depreciating asset, or liability more like it, because once you drive your car off the lot, once you buy it, it just depletes in value. And every time you drive it, it goes down in value. You don't want to buy a really nice car when you're really young, because it can set you back, and it can actually restrict your borrowing power if you want to borrow money from the bank and buy a property one day. It's a really terrible investment. A car's another thing that I think only rich people should get. I mean, like those luxury, really nice cars. And if you're buying a car that's like 2 years of your salary, like you are living life wrong, my friend. I'm sorry. Like I knew friends that were literally buying cars which was worth 2 years of their salary, and it's just a terrible idea. I do not recommend it. And my car, which cost $4,000, has been running for 9 years, never a problem. So that's just such a crazy investment in itself. Now, number nine is the biggest saving tip, best way to save money ever is living with your parents. I know in USA it's like really looked down on. I come from a European background, and my parents were like really upset when I moved out at 26 years old when I bought my first place, because in the European lifestyle usually like they move out like when they get married or mid to early 30s, sometimes late 30s. I know some like European guys who are 40 and still live with their parents. It saved me tens of thousands of dollars. Don't listen to anyone who thinks this is a stupid or idea, or they don't know what they're saying. Don't care what anyone else thinks, guys. Live with your parents, swallow the pill, do it hard for a few years, save up that money, and use that money to get something really nice. Like for me, I bought my property. You could, travel the world. It's really underrated. You could go to Europe, or, come to Australia where I live, or, living with your parents, living frugally will help you get to that 100K mark. And then from there, you can make that big choice what you want to do with your money. So guys, this is how I made my first 100K. Hopefully you liked that video, and more uploads to come. Appreciate all the new subscribers, and I'm out. See ya.